须耶，南无苏须耶，南无达摩须耶娑哈，嗡南无曼珠须耶，南无苏须耶，南无达摩须耶娑哈。上界觉当主业就拿来，将就把多当地给苏去，大吉去年。不拉被接上界主把说，啥些被给就是没多长，为让领起你的肩膀的，上界心都没得话语，都跟南大先拉去把说，一当不如让那没着那个呀那呀。
运动就是只要运动的结果，就是的，我是不知道，我是先把演的话，还是演那个那么多人都是他妈的嘛，一直嘛，我年吃的也是够的哇，那身体什么，当年嘛年都吃的也是，你体验意思。
Yeah, so we start the sessions with doing breathing meditations, and the purpose of doing breathing meditations is to calm down our mind so that our mind is not will not get distracted.
刚刚的旅游那个去李连杰的那个记录，交通那都去记录去点嘛，那些记录是吧？是不什么长不像是吧？你那种李连那个贴个了吧？但我那个经济在了嘛，因为那么点么特别不去，点么特别不去，啥的，那第趟过的，那么有那出去做，你看的的，你是没想进看看到运动的是吧？没想起来，看到那是那五年的五年我搞了，那么也得出去叫我现在这个点么特别么，堂口学的那么也得出去叫现在这个用是这方面，就是也是干嘛的，那五年我搞了，这学生这刚上在旅呢，别拿了别，现在更加了怕，你这个吃生上面关系，也能嘛当比搞了，就我吃了他妈那个什么地方更加的怕。那他看书是这里是那个去学是吧？但有人也送，有人送，那个人送，我都是建议是吧？那个都是继续是。
Please sit according to the positions of 7 meditative posture of Vairocana. So if you're able to sit in the Vajra positions, then please do so. And if you're not able to, then you can sit in half Vajra posture as well. And then straighten your back. Then please visualize in the space in front of us. There sits Buddha Shakyamuni. The form is Buddha Shakyamuni, and he's in one nature with one's own Lama. He's surrounded by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Then to which we do nectar purification practice. So when we breathe in, then we visualize the nectars together with light, which is the blessings enters into our body together with our in-breath. And then the nectar light fills up our body. And when we breathe out, then we visualize all our negativities since beginningless time, obscurations, sicknesses, and come out from our body together with the out breath. So first 3 rounds, we breathe in with our right nostril and breathe out with left nostril. Second set of 3 times of breathing, then we breathe in with left nostril and breathe out with right nostril. And third set of 3 times of breathing, then we breathe in and out with both nostrils.
대지라 동해진나 있으시대다 통치다 다비 첸디 만나시 까딘치 부자다 마마시가 찌점 마시발라 전지무 제가 이미 더 된지지 만드나 대원 대장 란도 볼로 지금 동해 바시 요원 대가 피치 점도 더 된지지 만드나 대치 피스서가 되는 점으로 demba chichi demba da shao so to some conscious chamba.
Then in your mind think all sentient beings who have been our mothers, and their kindness was exactly the same as the mothers of this life. Though all sentient beings wish for happiness and do not want suffering, however, they do the opposite. They only create a karma to experience suffering. So in your mind, cultivate loving kindness, thinking, how nice if all sentient beings have happiness. May they have happiness.
더 대지라 더 동아지나 있으시대다 리지 내는 저든 중앙시 내발았어비 더 리지 문집에 네 통제다 저는 점으로 저와지지 저와샤 서 되게 닌지 conscious.
Next, in our mind, cultivate compassion towards numberless mother sentient beings. They are all experiencing sufferings. And how nice if all mother sentient beings free of physical sufferings that are caused by imbalance of four elements and caused by harm, physical harm. So how nice if they're free of all sufferings, and may they be free of all sufferings, physical sufferings.
동아지나 있으시대다 생진지 자기 동해다 나도 차라네 봐 타다다 저는 점으로 저와지지 저와샤 서 some
And next we continue to think, how nice if all sentient beings free of mental sufferings. For example, anxiety, fear, nervous, and those conceptual thoughts, be it a gross one or a subtle one. So may all sentient beings be free of all mental sufferings.
더 동아지다비 진나서비 나기 마징인가 타다다 저는 점으로 저와지지 저와샤 some
And may all sentient beings free from harmful speech, and free from a negative speech such as lying. So may all sentient beings be free of verbal sufferings.
동아지나 있으시대다 도디나 고 송증 디비쇼 타다다 저는 점으로 저와지지 저와샤 서
So in brief, may all sentient beings be free from unconducive conditions of the three doors.
그 동아리나 있으면 제가 탐 이제 코어당에서 그 동아리에 도ing 내에 쓰라 법인들은 게 내라나 보스 내라나 보자 대디니가 생각하다 보고 상주지 공부하는 게 있거든요. 이거도 쓰려서 한다 보고 상주를 해보시니 그래서 이제 탐지지 상주지 공부하다가 샤는 장주지
So ask yourself, who has the responsibility to free all sentient beings from suffering? And the answer is, I have the responsibility, should take the responsibility to free all sentient beings from sufferings. However, I do not have the ability as Buddha. So only those who have achieved the state of enlightenment have the ability to free all sentient beings from sufferings. Therefore, for the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. So this is to cultivate bodhicitta.
그 뒤지지 실은 남기 취 관리지나 다 간다觉得见确实강了嘛对吧他让一起主吧这这样没上比例东半就点了上面去当就是
Next we cultivate wisdom, thinking that internal phenomena and external phenomena, all phenomena cannot arise without depending on cause and conditions. So all phenomena, they arise in dependence on cause and conditions and depending on parts as well. So there is not a single atom could arise by itself without depending on others. So this is to cultivate the wisdom.
Yeah, thank you. 다 나한테 저한테 치트와 피고 다 드링이 파트야 꽤 있고 이 가슴 뭐 시차 있고 진짜 담보 처음에 바람이 좋았다야.
Yeah, so all the time you ask me questions, right? So today I'm going to ask you back questions. So this I have already mentioned, the last class before, the last class of last year. So now I'm going to ask you a question.
다 주와 담보도 돼 있고, 먼저 나한테 공부를 마, 다设计师, 또设计师거든. 제 콘센트가 무슨 제가 지금 당하는 거 지금 취지죠. 지원이 되는 미치는 이제 담방에 지금 말씀드린 좀 더 사지 좀 하나 줘. 자,设计师는 다 담보 가서设计 담보 되나요? 취 콘트 좀 때문에 제가 비치와서 되나요? 다 간다 된다 주어데 라바스도 지려로. 라바스. 다 담보에 줘야돼. 라바스도 가르에서 데리레니 네스네. 정확히 유도를 따면 거 카드 칸이야. 나도 지셔서 라바스도 가르는 연습을 했어. 아무데.
저희 사이시대 정말 있잖아요.
그거 다 하나 되고. 네. 사실 담보디 그랬어.
Yeah, so Lamrim, when we talk about Lamrim, and then Lamrim, there are 4 root outlines, right? And the first one is showing the greatness of the author in order to show that his Dharma is a pure source. So under these first root outlines, then the 3 trainings are discussed. So my first questions to you is, what are these 3 trainings? So without looking at your notes and without looking at the text, just tell me the answers.
Hello.
I'll just give a shot because nobody is answering. Oh, yes, that's Pigpin already answered. Okay, thank you.
알요 가시기에 니들 가서 기저시요 말이 렌데 니들 티바래 이게 니들 수진 다니 띵진 다시라 디 다간 티바래 이게
다 되나 다 자와 우리 전에 나리기 다 나리기 가서 근데 소데 라바스드레스 아디 참아길래 제투발라 베 지세랑다 가서 쉬우충스 다 담보데 저 담보데 개침보시다 있어 다디 참아게 라바스드 네스 수준질라 등에질라 제줄라 바스 대가나 러투바 베 젠발이야 땡본냐마다 제가 가고 주셨어.
Yeah, so this question is very important because this question is very important, and then you're being able to answer the questions without looking at your notes and able to identify what these three trainings are. And I'm very happy and I rejoice in you.
달라버서 데려와. 다 간다. 수딩질라봐. 당가서 지나 수딩질라봐. 데라바 순나로 시자라고도 수딩질라봐 예시고로. 수딩질라봐 시자. 그래서 산지기 띵빈내다 많이 조 수딩질라봐라. 라리디 예시. 다 수딩질라봐 시자 선자. 당가서 수딩질라봐데 개체모 쉬우신다. 다 지나 수딩질라봐들라. 로아 이제 소샤고와 다 소타지도 비슷인가 상식도 비슷이 상할도 비슷이 소샤고예스 와
And these three trainings, the foundation, which is like a foundation, is the training in morality, and is very important because whether Buddha's teachings remain or not, it depends on morality. So this shows how important it is, the training in morality. So when we talk about morality, there are three types of vows, and the first one is the vow of individual liberation, and the second one is bodhisattva vow, and the third one is tantra vow, tantric vows.
다들 안서 수딩질라봐서 안서 단다디는 지다미 사바이나 와 고대치도 마 수딩질라봐 베이션 와 수딩질라봐서 안서 수딩세와다 가르스나 데 나고 내지 베 진보 와 진시바고 참마다 지주시바고 니 본세들라 간다 수딩질라봐서 이거 와 보이세요 간다 나비 진시기 미스 참마시기 미스 와 지주고 시기 미스 근데 온 셈바들라 어다 수딩질라봐서 이거를 베이션을 와 그다음에 살로카시요 와
Yeah, so when we talk about this training in morality, so for the sake of those, especially those newcomers, and then I would like to give a brief explanations. So when we talk about morality, so is the mind abandoning the negative actions? For example, negative speech, such as lying, such as telling divisive speech, and such as saying harsh speech as well. So you have the mind abandoning those negative actions, then that mind of abandoning negative actions is morality. Like for example, I'm not going to tell lies, I'm not going to tell divisive speech nor harmful speech to others, then these minds of abandoning negative actions is the training in morality.
리지베 어와 소제바다 마진발레바서 소폰 본이 셈바들와 다 지치차고리 다 이지베나 내세다 차도다 되리 로와 언레셀라서 버스 마얀디 다 간다 이치트리 차고레스 간다 맞아 뇌스나시도 두스와 근데 다 게임하기도 하고 그러스와
So I'm sure those senior ones, they understand. So, and when we talk about our physical negative actions, it can be engage in killings, or it can be stealings, or etc. So the mind abandoning those physical negative actions, and that is morality as well. And the mind abandoning mental negative actions, like for example, the mind harmful intentions, or jealousy, or the mind wishing to compete with wanting to compete with others, and your mind abandoning those negative mental negative actions, and those are morality, practice of morality.
That thing in the lava so the also data sabaji could the also say the so tembi kuchila sama tambaina tembi kutala gomjin say the tagaram tembi kutala rangi say the nipa tembi kutala pa tagaram sanatane shendal mai bachi say the zijiba yuteda yu tembi kutala rangi sini hachi ngo chiba mebanda bushi tendiji say zijiba yutela that thing is to slow that and the Sabahashi or Dichi.
You don't using
either you Jinipa, or Yemeba, Jim Malamush. But that and that since when you get this one, sure, you the Pashini.
And the next one is training in concentration. So training in concentration is our mind focusing on the object of observation. Like for example, if you were to take Buddha Shakyamuni image as the object of observations to cultivate concentrations, then our mind focus single-pointedly on the Buddha's image and do not get distracted by something else, and that is concentration. So to the extent the object, the subjective mind and the objective image then becomes indivisible. So it becomes indivisible, and that is concentration.
That here the lava so say Chipati Yabu Yabaina, this here the lava the huge chamber and the watching the I see the Chibi, Timbatula Nibitoni, that Temba thing also, condition is San Chiba, Shebachira, Tembate, Nyamu Tripa, Sama Pane, Sanjiba Sheba, Roa, Sanjiba Sheba, Nama, Sama Jibina Nansu the Jiba Yiba, Sujiwa Nashi, Jiba Yiba, Roa, Chadamons Chansa Kanding Yiba. And that Tembate, the Susama Chadamos to Solapa, Katijane, or Sanji Pumpatova Sheba, Temba Sanji, Temba Tubade, Temba Shitubade, Parago Nilu the Kadi, Sheba de la, Tenda the Sheba de la, I share Jabdilla Bas and Jiguris patient and wa. And that the Timber Nilu the Sheba de wa.
And the next one is training in wisdom. So while having a single pointed concentrations, then our wisdom becomes very powerful. So we choose Buddha Shakyamuni image as the object of observation. Then we think how Buddha Shakyamuni become enlightened. Then we understand that Buddha Shakyamuni or Siddhartha Gautama become enlightened, having abandoned because of having abandoned the two obscurations. So, and then you further think that Buddha Shakyamuni was ordinary beings like me, and then he was also afflicted by the three poisons of attachment, anger, and ignorance before, like my current situations, and having opposed or having counteracted those poisons of three poisons, and then this Siddhartha Gautama become enlightened and become Buddha Shakyamuni. So you understand the reality or how a Buddha Shakyamuni become enlightened. So having understood the point, having understood the reality, how Siddhartha Gautama become enlightened, then this is the training in wisdom.
Nanzu Jijipina, Jipa de Chamochida, Rapachida, Inchi Son Yorua, Son, Chamochi, Jinchi, Rapachi Son. That this one got Mamba the Sanji to Wilmarua, Sanji to Wilmar. Tangazo de Chamota, Rapan Jisonere, Tambu Karapang Rese, Dituaki, Tambu Karla Nimuting Res, nganzu jiji dipa rapa da rida chamo sona.
Yeah. So in order to achieve enlightenment, then we have to abandon the obscurations in our mind stream. And if we do not abandon, without abandoning the obscurations in our mind streams, then there is no way that we can achieve the state of enlightenment. So the obscurations in our mind stream can be divided into 3 levels. So the first one is coarse or gross, and the second one is moderate, and the third one is subtle. So there are 3 degrees or 3 levels of obscurations. So among these 3 types of or 3 levels of obscurations, so which level of obscurations should we abandon first? So which one should we apply antidote first?
The coarse one.
Yeah, the Japani di tambo and is.
Correct. Then
and followed by
Subtle.
Subtle. And the third one is
Very subtle.
okay. Okay. So ini di tambo di Java di Bangladesh, ini di niwa di Jingba di Bangladesh, ini di Tama di Tamo di Bangladesh.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tambo rapa de pangwe juzi karres. Desu no tambo chamo de mama bachi tambo rapa de pangwe juzi karres dijusikas.
And please tell me the reason why we do not abandon the subtle obscuration first, and why we have to abandon the coarse one first.
Only maybe can answer.
I'll try. I'm only here. I think the coarse ones are the easier ones to. The answer is already there. Yes, it's easier to start with abandoning the coarse obscurations.
Isna Java di Bang Lao yoris.
Oh, thank you so much. Correct. Very good. Oh, that page shana. Mansu tulu la page shana. But rapa de pangla agency mansu tulu la page na shawaina. Tulu tuwaina. The rapa de G the Thomas Tambo Kartal Habris. The page shana.
Yeah, please further explain or the reasons. The reason that you have mentioned is correct, and please link it. Please elaborate it by giving me an example, and the example can be using a piece of cloth and then with the stains on it. So when we want to wash the clothes, wash the stains off the clothes, and what types of stains will go off first?
Yeah, I will answer Caroline here. Example, a cloth that is stained by mud. First, it is very gross. First, we just wash it with plain water. The gross stain will come out, but there still leave some stain, some coloration there. So we wash it with soap. And it come out, but there's still very slight stain there. And this slight stain is the subtlest obscuration, which I will use maybe Clorox to help to remove the final stain. And this Clorox is very powerful. It is removed just like we use the wisdom of emptiness to slay the gross, the subtlest stain to achieve our full enlightenment. Thank you.
Yeah, but the Rabadi. So Rabadi ni antu di chu rani di juai na, ani di Rabadi ni di juais. Ini yang jingba na di jingba da ni di tamu na di degi es. Ini di antu yang easy di bisu da ni di jingba di ni yang zama so es. Ini tama di tamu di yang chashu di ni antu yang di bleach se di ni di yang kabu kagyang so zeju so di ze di juai.
Very good, very good.
Bisu da ni.
Answer correct. Very good. Very, very good, sir. That day, Kana, that manzo, Labas on the Tambo Karishabares. 또 다이스
Hello.
라바소도 담보 림바 아미치나 담보 가르템 바리스 니바 가르시에 바리 숨바다 가르템 바리스 림바 시우디 맞아 라린 시우도
So in Lamrim, when we talk about the three trainings, so which training was presented first? So you tell me the first, second, and third. So which training was presented first, the second, and third?
Small scope, followed by the medium scope and the great scope.
Three training.
Maybe,
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's about the three trainings, yeah.
The ethics first.
Ethics first.
Morality, yeah. Followed by concentration, then followed by wisdom.
correct good 담보 가르치는 띵거랬으리 진실라바 담보 가르치는 시거랬어
And why the training in morality was first presented?
Lamrim here, because it's the basis, the foundation of all the other trainings.
In the 시자레스. 라바 신단이게 시자라고레스. 망시라고레스.
다 시자레데 단다 지나서 랭카신 로사레스 뜻은 리와 인저레스 안다 물에 지나서 랭 야보가 제서레스 뜻은 리와 인저레스 담보 쓰린지 라바데 가르치는 띵거랬고 맞아 냐니라 지자고레스다
Yeah, so it's also is connected with the answers that you have provided just now. So now you have to give me the answers from the practical point of view. So from our own practice perspective, then you give me the answer. And it's related to the answers that you have already given just now.
야야야 담보 가르빵 그랬어요 저는 라서 이마스 좋아 네 따단 비싸러 왔어 맞아 산지라 담보 가르빵 그랬어 지바 차라스노 담보 가르빵 그랬어 이 저는 네 따다 제서데스 다들 님부
Yeah, so I'll say the questions. I'll say like just now I asked the question in order to achieve the state of enlightenment. Then there are obscurations in our mind stream. Then the first one is to abandon the gross one, right? So it's related to this question. Why the training in morality in the faith?
Training morality is for the right behavior. How should I say? Correct behavior. From virtuous behavior, we will move on to holding precept. The virtuous behavior will also help us to accumulate merits, to help us to move to upgrade our practice, which is to hold precepts, vows.
So, suci lava lave ini ngasuh di coba ini di tata doris ini di coba ni di ciri maris ini di coba macam la tone macam la kasa macam la tene ini ngasuh suci ini di sungtu iris ini di suci sungai sunangsa ini ngasuh yang domba kamar itu ini di sungtu iris.
다 지난 신나 어 두스 레스 다잉이 지나서 두어티야데 나수 빠야 디빠라 차라 손시고와 다 잡아되게 담보 아파트 빵 그래서 담보 아파트 빵과 선사 그 담보 냐니 지야데 라바스노 담보 가르치 들니모 가르팅 그래서 이 좋아들이스
And just now I asked the questions is about the three levels of obscurations in our mind stream, and then we already identified the first first level of obscurations is to be abandoned first, which is the coarse one. And by engaging in the three trainings, then they will become the antidotes towards a specific level of obscurations, right?
excuse me.
Yes.
Is it so that you mean that the coarse stains can be removed by the training in morality, etc.?
Yeah. Yeah, tiwara re sa kishla ini kishla ki indishiri yunas ini ngso chujin yu laba de jiene jiba raba ni de tatu res teni nas.
Dire tanga chang da yi le de chang jipa chara pandi jipa chara no tambo rapa pang re se ta nga so de labas no mari ba she tambo ching ji laba she gwa de su su ji ji tambo jipa rapa de pa ta ba she gwa rapa de dai je do de le ne bo zo ka sna ching de de ta rapa de nga so ngi ji bong ne ba ngi ji la so ba de so ge linga ge ni ji so wa linga ge ni ji ngi ji la so ba de so rapa de wa de so rapa de so la wa ya ta thoma ching ji laba de ni bo de yes
Megi jubo sujin
어 먹게 지금 스트리트 와 스트리트 되게 담보 링하게 내지 라바 들어와 링하게 내지 라바 다 먹게 지금 나서 봐 먹게 지나서 그래서 니 벌써 다들 소라 빠시 다 다시 지나서 집바 차라 뽕게 다 님보 대가로 되는 다 간다 라바스 님보 라바스는 당고열에
Yeah, that is correct. Your questions. So coarse stain can be removed or eliminated by training in morality. So as what we say just now, the 3 levels of obscuration. The first one to be eliminated is the coarse one or the gross one, and then by the 3 trainings are the antidotes to counteract the 3 levels of stains or obscurations. So the first, then we also identified the first one we should train is training in morality. So by training in morality, then we're able to remove the coarse stain. So coarse stain refers to those physical and verbal negative actions. And by training in morality, such as the morality of abandoning 10 non-virtues, then we will be able to get rid of the physical and verbal negative actions. So 3 trainings are the antidotes to remove 3 levels of obscuration.
스트리트 라바 되는 거죠 담보 상지하다 이 공도 실세는 담보 디바 차라스는 담보 라바도 방고도 와 라바도 방야나 다 담보 스트리트 라바 대시 와 스트리트 라바 대 라바 소지 디바 라바 링하게 내질라서 라바 소 파가 다 대지 인진데 레고와 단 린데마 단 내자다 해달라서 받는 인지배 뭐도 좀 아도야 데마 뭐도 좀 맞아 라바 디판 린데서다 다 수입 방거스나 다 땡인지 라바데 예방 와 오리지널 다 담보 라바는 린 방거와 다 땡인지 라바데 수수지지 디판 린데 니모 차스와 다 셰르 라바데 다 디파 차슈드 다 바차스로와 다 녀무다 취지 단스 바차스로와 다 바차스 차슈드로와 바차드 방사 다 상제사
녀몽 당진을 녀몽 당진게 바차
다 바차스로와 다 녀무다 간다 취지 단지다 간사가 단지스 되니기 바차스로와 다 바차드 방사는 대 상제사로와 아데 셰르들라바디 님보딩고 다 다지니 총아서 디파 차라 지야 준제데 라바송보데 바리데 야가로 샤고에 준제데 디파 차라 바리 진에 두서 님보시도 마 바리 두스 리브레스 라바송데
So 3 levels of obscurations, and in order to counteract them, then we have to engage in 3 trainings. So the first one that we have to engage in is training in morality in order to stop or eliminate the physical and verbal negative actions. So that is the gross obscurations. So, sorry, and in order to eliminate the medium or the moderate type of obscurations, then we have to apply the antidotes of training in concentration. So training in concentration is the antidote to cause those mental afflictions such as attachment and anger not to manifest. So training in concentration is the antidote to cause those mental afflictions such as attachment and anger not to manifest. So this is by by training in concentrations, then we're able to cause those mental afflictions not able to be manifest. And the most subtle type of obscurations are those imprints left by our afflictions, and the imprints such as the imprints left by self-grasping of person and self-grasping of phenomena. So those imprints, being the most subtle obscurations, is to be removed or eliminated by training in wisdom. So having trained in wisdom, then we're able to remove the subtle type of obscurations, then we achieve the state of enlightenment. So this is the reason why I asked you the questions in this order. We first identify the three levels of obscurations. Then I ask further about three trainings.
我大都是，俺做大的题目嘛，就吧，俺做喇叭说的，咱们整体喇叭，第一级是顶级喇叭，第二级是小的喇叭的，都是帮你写的，俺做个就是呗，上级把了，这把查拉级的帮你现在帮我的是吧？第帮你是帮把了年末的，卡的，老大都是帮你现在，都是帮呀年末那个去的，但上了就当然就会是吧？我等你上大学时。
Yeah. So please keep this in your mind. So in order to achieve the state of enlightenment, then we have to abandon the three levels of obscurations by engaging in three trainings in this particular order. So first we have to engage in morality, followed by concentration, and then followed by wisdom.
And
the next question is.
大家了主要的个是呢，当然是九节八点的些个原定年是的啦，忙到这边龙个原定年把它，至于这个多边原定年出年是吧？
讲的原定年出的。
原定年是的啦，九节八点的些龙个原定年当期的，年出去的多边原定年出去年是吧？啊，九节八点的些个龙个原定年是看的这也是，龙个原定年是的，另外我们学识了的，龙个原定年是看的这也是。
So the next question is, Lama, then in Lamrim, then it talks about how Lama Atisha obtained good qualities, and then he further divided into two types of good qualities. The first one is the scriptural qualities, and the second one is the realizational qualities. So then he discussed how Lama Atisha obtained those good qualities. So now you tell me how Lama Atisha obtained the first type of quality, scriptural quality.
Lama Atisha study all the five group of knowledge, language, art, medicine, and medicine, art, and I think the five basic knowledge. Then he went on to study the three higher training, and eventually the tantra. These are scripture training, and then realizational training the three training and the sixth perfection in the realizational training. So he studied in various teachers, and he became master in all the knowledge.
Yes. Yeah. Because long you need to tambo ni the Lama Atisha de ripanga re. Because ripanga said the city on I the so ripa and the because so ripa nanga the tambo chance any jela yang lawa sum de chance any jela nagi ko la any chamba is any riba any taga de chamba is any to be yun de ni chu na any Lama Atisha tambo any the lava sum de labe any jela the passing through the lava is
double loss is what? Then double loss is what? Lungi, the nature of Lungi, Unte Karasha, Sanji Temple, Lungi Temple, Topi Temple, Niorwa. 다 농구 인터넷이나 농 되네 송보 되게 지지기 내데 정말 시험하지. 어디라서로 농 되네 송지 제샤고 단다다 가리면 이 창나 만들 받겠다와 인도 시험하대. 농구 인터넷이 도도시. 이라 이거다. 다 저런 거 도도시는 다리부터 리터 주도 경고로 와. 다들 저 전화 시에서 와. 농 되네 송고 내데 시에서 두 시에서다. 이래서 더블 로스도 이나 저 뒤네 도도너시대 있어.
So what you said is quite, quite similar, quite close to the actual answers. So when we talk about the scriptural qualities and these scriptures or the Buddha's teachings, so Buddha's teachings can be divided into two types. One is the scriptural teachings, another one is the realizational teachings. And the scriptural teachings is the three baskets of teachings. And how Lama Atisha obtained the scriptural qualities is by study the three baskets of teachings. So Lama Atisha understand exactly the content of three baskets of teachings, understand exactly the meaning of three baskets of teachings, and this is how Lama Atisha obtained the scriptural qualities. So your answers, the answers given talks about the 5 types of knowledge, right? And these 5 types of knowledge is already included. It is included in the 3 baskets of teachings already. So when Lama Atisha becomes skilled or become learned in the 3 baskets of teachings, then Lama Atisha has already become learned in the 5 knowledges already.
다 또비 인터넷 좋아하는 게면 렌즈 차상스 거 저거 렌즈 차스 다들이 현재 세시
Yeah, so my question just now was about how Lama Atisha obtained the scriptural qualities, and then Totoko also gave me the answers for the second questions already, how Lama Atisha obtained the realizational qualities. So I will just explain it.
다 된다들이 창을 해드려서 다 농구 인터넷에 다 농 되네서 지지근데 정말 지지 시에차디 다 대신 받들라 다 조지 받야지 냐니 최인도 야부 제네 들라버스 두지를 줘야 되겠어 라버스 두지를 줘봐도 또비 인터넷 말해서 간다 와 또비 인터넷에 농구 되네게 지지근데서 정말 지지 시에 바로 와 냐니 제단 간다 간디면 창상 시에 바로 란도진이 참아 대시비 토네 대 냐니 정말 지지 제오니 라바송 두지란 주고 또비 인게 라바송 간다. 와 또비 인게 라바송 어디 라바송 두지란 주고 했어. 또비 인게 네 말이었어.
또비 인게 라바송 데로
다데 두지란 주고 간다. 롱비 인게 지지기네다 정말지 시에네 네네 냐네 추기도 제오데 또비 인게 두지란 주고 했어. 또비 인게 두지란 주고 라바송 간다. 도도치. 다 레도도도 뜻이었어.
So how Lama Atisha obtained the scriptural qualities is by studying and understanding the 3 baskets of teachings, the content of it and the meaning of it as it is. So understanding it exactly as it is. And then having understood the content and the meaning of 3 baskets of teachings, that talks about how to practice in relation to the object of adoptions and the object of abandonment. So having understood this accurately, then Lama Atisha engaged in 3 trainings. So engaged in 3 trainings, and then he developed the realizations of 3 trainings in his mind. So these 3 trainings in his mind is how Lama Atisha obtained the realizational qualities.
다 디니 롱비 인터넷이다 또비 인터넷이 들어와 대다투스리 sama 세상에 고치시스와
So this is how Lama Atisha obtained scriptural and realizational qualities. So please keep this in your mind as well.
Sheila, I have one question. Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Sheila, since the 3 higher training, the third one, the second one, the concentration, the third one is wisdom, already in scripture. Then when you talk about realization, we have 3 higher, since the 3 Tripitaka, the ethics, morality, and morality, concentration, and wisdom already have the topics or subject matter in wisdom, special insight. Then we talk about realization again, the 3 higher training. Isn't that overlap? Because in 3 higher training, eventually is also have that wisdom. So the subject matter, let's say we go to school, teacher gave us this subject to study, already is in scriptural, then come to realizational training or quality or realizational knowledge. The realizational part is again repeat the wisdom part. Am I clear my question?
Yeah, you're talking about also the wisdom part also exists in the scriptural quality, also exists in the realizational qualities. Why there is a repeat?
Yeah, especially also when Geshe also explained last time, the 6th perfection is under the section on realizational training. In 6th perfection, the last 2 perfection, especially the last one, is also on wisdom, right? Which is actually in the three basket, is the last baskets. So kind of repetition.
So, ini di sum dah, ini di lawa sum di Jawa resa. Ini kali ini sirap siapa? Ini orang tu di ngomong di sini orang, ngomong nanti juga di sirap di kola di sini orang. Ini lawa sum di sini betul lah. Ini di yang sirap di lawa yang di sini, yang sirap sini orang. Ini di kali ini cara ini di cari mana guys? Oh. Ya, ngomba teno ina di sirap ko la shigi yorwa. Ini di lungi ye. Shagi ka sirap di ko la. Juja ina di sirap lava di shigi yorwa. Ini di sirap lava di lungi kaza di shitsana ini kari jini lava sum kaza lava sum di shibe kabla ini di yangya di sirap lava di shigi yorwa. Ini kogi jawa ini di skensa yorwa.
디 라파숨바데 수수송이 된디시자
공단이
눈비 되네디 현들라바 소팅 거레스데 제소티나 가르쳐 가르도세데
야 ini di siap di laban ini di sisa roas ini di nusunan lungi yang dia roa lungi temba roa isla ini di tobi temba na di yangya di siap di sigi roa ini siap di laban di sigi roas
tobi temba shero laba yanja chisin tobi temba shea ke ho maresko tobi temba da ngasu jilan chea dre toba tobi temba sia da susu jila chea dre lungi temba de ngasu nyane chedang da luyer lungi temba de ngasu nyane chedang luyer loba nashi susu nyane cheo tobi temba de jila chegu yoro mato de shibi ke cham maresko tobi temba de ngasu jila chea toba susu tujilan tuya ta gi joji jilan turis lai ma udire laba sombode jiji tsigi laba sombode dire jiji tsigi laba dene sombode jiji tsigi dene sombode laba sombode jija tanji laba sombode jiji tsigi dene re kanda de dene sombode yo jiji tsigi dene laba sombode jija tanji laba jija tanji laba tanji laba 다 가서 제시 식될 때네 그래서 투지라 라바스부터 제야 쓰고 대체보다 가서 대 도비인데 데레스고
주자 줄라 기바로
줄라 제보다 뭐 도비인데 시에서 계좌 말에 그 담보 좀바도 거르셔서 도비 때마스나 콜라바스나 이제 시고에서 계속 찍고
양의 니자라고
근데 신경도 너 땡지 소 시고 그래서 저 시고 나신 가서 라떼 저기 줄라 또 받은 총우디 tobi temba chiese tobi temba chiese ke jatu maris ko to going there.
So when we talk about scriptural teachings and the realizational teachings, so scriptural teachings it talks about how to practice. And then by following the instructions on how to practice, then you practice it, then you develop the realizations. For example, the 3 training is in your mind, then that is the realizational qualities or the realizational teachings. So one is the agent that teaches. Another one is something to be developed in our mind stream. So 3 baskets of teachings is the one that express. So you can say it teaches or it express how to practice. So, and then by following the instructions on how to practice, then you develop it in your mind, and that is the 3 trainings. So, so this is the difference, yeah. So one is scriptural teachings, it talks about how to practice, and then realizational teachings is realizational qualities is we develop such realizations in our mind.
Okay, understand?
Sound like a cause and result, but why is called training? You call realizational training, realizational knowledge. It sounds like as a result of the scriptural training and scriptural knowledge that you know, then you realize as a result. But the term they use is there are 2. All Buddha Dhamma teaching is divided into 2: the scriptural teaching and the realizational teaching. Right? So now the explanation is no. Scriptural is for you to study, to learn. You apply, then you achieve realization. Then it's actually one type only, right? I mean, in terms of knowledge.
Yeah. Jadi tamu di kasa lungi temba tang topi temba na di kyu tang jebu ina di jewan ang siles.
Really,
Yeah.
really.
Ini di imba kasa di ina ini karichine kasa kyu la kibe lawa sung den so ina di topi temba segues. Karichine topi temba segues.
Topi temba sewa nga tanda de susuge lungi temba tibi tanda de nyane chima jigishine susuge jila topa che. Topa che ila topi temba series.
Topi temba dan topi nyunde na di 20.
Ta topi yende tisu tanda chiba lewa. Diris ko. Topi temba sena masena nga susuge jije topa tsurinji lapa sheba ina topi temba. Topi yende re wa. Topi temba de jila tubures. Lungi temba tigi nyane chedang de shebu res ma. Shebu de jiji res. lungi temba de jeji, topi temba de jeji tela tene, tegi tenzi nyangsa lamba tene, topi laba sudan chuwa iza jebo, teni jundin rabu desu.
Yeah, that is, kaza, te topi temba tang topi nyunde ne tuanji ro ija. That's all. Yeah. So realizational teachings and realizational qualities are of same meaning. So they have the same meaning. And as you say, it is correct. Scriptural teachings is like the cause, and realizational teachings is the result. So by depending on the scriptural teachings that discusses how to practice, then you practice accordingly, then you develop the realizations in your mind. For example, the 3 trainings, then that is a realizational qualities or realizational teachings. And I have more questions to ask.
chanchu langri, di tsawa zi langri rwa. Da chanchu langri da langri dini da misi ko chuchu songda, chewa shida dimi songro resi, da di shenda la menjo ji misi ji resi rwa. Chuchu song. Da chanchu langri di gansu misi ki chuchu songda dimi songro, chewa shida dimi songro ji resi di, da di misi gansu langri ki timo mayi ba chuchu chan. Rwa, di chan gore. Dindi songza, chichi kara res din yes ya istamo ani mama bo losarawa lari gi pe chichi sunda devi soro sunda da chichi sunda de message she gore chichi sunda kara res.
And the text that we are studying is a Lamrim text, and this Lamrim text is composed based on Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment. So and then this Lamrim text it says that it composed or it has the 3 good qualities, 3 qualities and 4 greatnesses. So and this is the uncommon quality that Lamrim text possess. So we already talked about the 3 qualities that Lamrim text possess and the 4 greatnesses as well. So now you tell me, what are these the 3 qualities?
Well, Lamrim here, it is non-contradictory.
again.
And sorry.
I just give one answer so other people can answer.
Oh, okay. So ini tambo ina de kimi resa. Kichusum shegi ora tiwatang ora ini de kasa ini de kimi resa. Kichu tambo de kimi res.
Dimi.
Gewa meba. And how about the other second and third answer?
Okay, may I try? Xiao here. Yeah. Okay. The three qualities. Okay. First one is a complete in terms of the contents. So because it summarizes all the sutra and tantra points in a summary fashions. And then the second one is it is easy to apply. So because it makes the main topics of discussion is taming of the mind, and then the way it present is in a very gradual order, and then you can understand the points directly because it reveals the points directly to us instead of hiding or scattered around. And then the third one is a particularly noble system because it is ornamented by two great masters. One is younger Kokila, and the other is Lama Serimpa. Because these two great masters were skilled in the system of the two great trailblazers. That is Nagarjuna and Asanga. So for Nagarjuna, he transmit the lineage of profound view down to this young Kokila, and then to Lama Atisha. And for this the vast conduct or lineage of conduct is through Lama Selimpa, and can be traced back up to this Mantriya.
Yeah, and the Kishu de Shiva is Lani de Tamboina, Kazatun Joba, Sitata de Juja Yosova, Kansana, Kazatoda Nagi, Turina, Tamduaris, and the Niba de Yamne Chelawas, Kansana, the Kazajuja, Zo the same to Agiche to this, Nian, the Kazan. Because I did Rimbana she needed to be the Rimbana she did think you is. And also turn in so anything Hago because a sheet to it is turn it Juja and the sheet to it is Kansina, and the Tamba and so anything Katu the sheet you is, any day Kazakani, Yanati Kazakuni, Katu the sheet you is. 生活前的样那的主站那样的人帮马多吧，那你点卡萨卡拉你点这些有嘛的，那你人帮新路你点登记有啥，你点写拉瓦有的，的什么的卡萨闲来你点开吧路闲来你点开吧跑吧，你看意思呢卡萨拉玛尼他见呗，你拉玛尼是的日巴库就他你的拉玛斯林跑的。你的空那么你的样可啥？现在节目你来，你就来去有的，你的他们像那个朱纳达那阿三个的话，你的那个朱纳那的什么大剧那的就把库就来，你就有的，你的可啥？提前追剧那样的后面的阿拉玛森林巴拉就有的。
Very good, very good. The question is very good. Answer is very good, correct. Other chances for the Dagares. Generally, Junsin Javashis as well. Also, churches of the cutting news on the Jeja Yos Doba. Lot of land devas. 루신의 제바도 파바 디스 도도 같은 녀석 되게 답되고 제자 용수 줘봐 나도 랑 대와 루신의 제바도 파바 나도 소설의 주제의 정황이 시에서 정황 정황 시에 주제인 데 가려서 장주 랑지림바데 제자 용수 줘비 최초의 대우레스 준세 가르레스나 저런 거야 돼 준세 동안 이게 니디니 팀 소라를 했어 너다 나니가 니디니 팀 소라서다 다 제자 용수 했어 아무거 지지수 같이 나지 그것도 신다지 거다 쳐도 다 신다 참아 그것도 잡아지 지지수가 된다 콜라야 그래서 제자 용수 줘봐 나도 랑 대와 루신의 제바도 파바 너무 예수도 예수 내가 그런 준세 담아시 있어서
Yeah, your answer is very good, and yeah, so we have so we first identified what these three qualities are, and the first one is complete in contents, and the second one is easy to put into practice, and the third one is particularly novel to other systems. So these are the three qualities that Lamrim text possess. So you, on top of that, then you also gave me the reason why they why they have these three qualities really. So very good.
저런 준세의 시사서 다 준세 배시나 다가래서 장주 랑데림바데 제자 용도도 취지다 대비 준세 가서는 동안 네가 근니들이 때문에 서로를 해서 내가 디시고 어떤 드는 바지
동안 이게
니디네 때문에 서로
언니
당와서 배랑이 정문에 신다선 정 말씀 동안 네가 시그래서 던던 동안 네가 시그스는 취지 돼서는 시고도 나리 누가 너 아니가 동안 니기 니디네 때문에 서로를 해서 나오지 대프로 다가로 때문에 동안 네가
Yeah, so why we say Lamrim text possess the first quality is because it is a scripture that contains the summary of sutra and tantra, because it is a scriptures that presents the sutra and tantra in summary way.
다 님바데 장주 랑지림바데 라도 랑데와레스 임비 준세가스나 다 신디 림바 조신의 때문에 서로를 해서 다 신디 림바 조신의 때문에 서로서가 다 라도 랑데와레스 거다 와
Yeah, and the second quality that Lamrim text possess is easy to practice. Why we say it possess the second quality is because it presents the teachings. So it presents it presents a taming of the mind in a gradual order. So because of this quality, then it is easy to put into practice.
당어서 신디 림바데 라도 랑데와서가 가서 제부순지 랑지 림발 계시 신고 시야트 와 가서 라도 랑데와 신디게 가서 신도 당데 간이도 무슨 림바데 만주고 간데 담보 신데나게 힘이 신도와 담보 신데나게 힘이 신도와 제부 중을 랑지 림발 신고 담보 신데나게 힘박 신도와 신고 그래서 님발에 그와 힘이 나시지 힘이 세도 시심이 나시 힘박이 세도 그래서 시심이 힘이 나시 세도 그래서 시심이 힘박 힘이 세도 그래서 다 손바디 심이 나시 세도 소데 다 체드다 시심이 니가 당 고이랑이 능해지랑이 도리다 대지분 누구나 시우로 기본적인 대표는 시우 타바 돈들로 시우디 체드다 시심이 니가게 다 다다데 힘바 도게야 시우 좋아 니바디 세드다는 담보 친 나게 힘이 세도 니바 심이 나게 도바 손바 장진지데 도가 장진지 나시티 도가 장진지 도가 제비 친구 나네로와 다 제비 친구 줘서 나네 디 따다 시우 다 된다 쉬셔야 되는 나도 랑데와서 디 주지디
So regarding the second point, that is easy to put into practice because it makes the gradual taming of the mind. It presents the gradual taming of the mind. it presents a taming of the mind in a gradual order. So this taming of the mind in the gradual order refers to the practice of 3 scopes of beings. So first, in order to eliminate, in order to eliminate or to tame our enchantment or attachment towards these life excellences, then we engage in the path of small scopes of being, and then followed by the path of medium scopes of beings to tame or to eliminate our attachments towards future lives, towards future lives. So if we want, and by eliminating the attachment towards these lives and the future lives in samsara, then we aim at achieving liberations. So by engaging in the path of medium scopes of beings, then we eliminate the attachments to future lives. And then the third level is the paths of great scopes of being. Then is to eliminate our self-cherishing attitudes. So this is how we say that Lamrim texts possess this, particularly this second quality, which is make the taming of the mind in a gradual order. So this, which is presented in the path of which is presented in the gradual order of taming our mind, which is the 3 scopes of being.
But the somebody was sure. That's somebody can the chanting out in body, not did and then Lucian chap out of hobby, Chichi the Dingury as well. That Lucian chap out of Chichi the day where Jessica's that she touch him one day, Lulaki Belaman, damaging the Sura Sunza, Sura in between Sinji, that one a Lucian chap out of yes, Dima choosing Sura Sachi.
And the third one is novel, particularly novel to other systems, and because it possesses the instructions given by the 2 trailblazers.
That Jill also Timber Tanjing Gamet to be Chiwashi, Jill Kitchetia, that 3 John's here drama service. Yeah, drama in Harwa. That chance to in a Tuashna. Jill John's here the tradition of the way Jimal Tuatang is the Chiwashiwa, Chiwashi. Timber Tanjing Gamet to Sosa and Don Jay, but that Nijimanga Chiwashi, and that's all Kibura. That Chichi so that is Sabachiro.
Yeah, so that is the revisions up to now. We stop here at the 3 qualities, and next, so now I will stop here, and then if you have any questions, then you can ask now. And please prepare yourself for next class, and I'm going to ask about 4 greatnesses. So if you have any questions, you can ask now.
Ken, before we proceed, can we just get the students to complete the attendance record? Thanks.
Andy have just shared the registration link to register for your attendance in the chat group. So please click on the link and do to mark your attendance. If in case you have any issues, maybe you cannot click, or after you click there's no response, you let me know. And those who have not updated your Zoom software, please update your Zoom software, because an outdated software will also cause like you cannot click on the link, or you will cause some issue for this as well. So let me know if you have any problem.
Thanks, Faye.
Okay.
是的，是的，
那
是的，是的。主要嘛嘞。
主要有什么？yang khusus tentang yang kata minggu gede有啥有啥？哦，
Ken, I got a question for Geshe-la, but it's not related to today's class. You see, we are on holiday for so long for the Tantra class. Now I'm very confused. What is clear light mind? Can Geshe just give a general brief answer to it? Clear light mind.
Yeah, ini kasa so di kumseng ini di kiri bosya ni. Ini tata ini di kasa kasa wesi di same way. Mas si tani tata team itu. Yang ngagi kola. Chiu wesi di same dia roa gitu lah. Ini di kaji je esa. Chiu ini di ngagi kola ini di macam mana di roa?
Ngagi kola misalnya, ngagi kola jema dua team itu roa. Ada usus roa.
Yeah, so yeah, since it's related to Tantra, so I say we will explain it in other time.
So, 그래서 저 매번이나 니마 데카도 누구 있고. 진짜 이제 땅에 있고.
지금 신다 땅이 있네.
저 신다. 땅에 있어. 정말 매번이나.
Yeah. Yes. If you have no other questions, then I will continue to ask my question.
I do have a questions.
Yes.
Okay. Lama Atisha actually has won many debates with those non-Buddhist scholars. So I believe in the ancient time there are no judges on all this debate, but the stake in all this debate is very high. So actually, how to determine that one particular opponent is defeated? I mean, he is willing to accept Buddhist as his traditions. Yeah. And then also quite related to this question is when Lama Atisha is in Bodhgaya, he was asked by a non-Buddhist scholar a question that he can't answer. So I just wonder what is the question that the non-Buddhist scholar asked? Yes. Thank you.
Di Lama Atisha tang ngema kasa di Buddhi pa tang ini tinggal tu ini cuba mau cuba roa ini di cuba cuba ini di toba roa gitu lah. Ini yang showing dan show di show ini di kasa nang bicu ini di kasa di keleng roa. Ini di tu awal pangbu yo roa. Kongsu cuba cuba kalau ini di pangbu yo roa.
ini dah mampu harus. 그저 감정의 배지다 뭐 아무 샤워로다. 그저 들리 방법을 제제거든. 이마 들리 무슨도 배지다 mampu harus ko. 그 mampu harus. 배지다 mampu 방법 되고 harus.
ini di doji den la Lama Atisha yang muti pacigi Lama Atisha la jiwaji kubares. Ini di Lama Atisha leng kaptu yomares. Ini di jiwati karijesa.
Dia aku mesti cerang kan ini lama dia itu jual kan ke aku masih. Tapi kinje masih thong masih kau masih lah. Dia kari mesti masih dia jema tahu.
Yeah, so regarding the first questions, so they were judges, and those judges were panditas. So many panditas were there to witness and judge the debate. So the second question is regarding non-Buddhists asked Lama Atisha at Bodhgaya questions that Lama Atisha couldn't answer. So this one I'm not so sure about it. I never come across such information. So I will check further.
Can my question in the chat box, Sheila? Sheila, on Lamrim outline, most time when we talk about things shared with or common to small scope being, middle scope being, and great scope being. In most texts, even in Lamrim Chemo, they put the teaching, come abiding, and special insight kind of in the table and then put under the great scope. So make me, I have been thinking that this is a great scope teaching. I realized that this actually come abiding and special insight should be also shared or common to people who follow in the medium scope that achieve liberation. Can Geshe-la elaborate and why it's not quite explicit and explain openly to people that these two topics are actually medium scope topics?
Di Shiwada kaza di Shinedang Hadong sentangi di zong cheng kona di Shinedang Hadong na di kibu chenbyu gi lam la ni di kongsu tu yo ro isla Shinedang Hadong ni di kibu chenbyu gi lam la ni di kongsu tu yo ro 간신나에 디 신이 당하동이나 디 타마 디 콜라 디 타마 시기요로와 타마 이제 디 기비 친구 담기 콜라 니 디 시기요로와 이라 담민 쳔모 디 젬바나
신이 당하데 남바 뭐 지시로 발라 요르시고라 맞아 디 티모 신나 티모르시 신이 당하서 신나 네가 티모 신이 통해 간데 시가 여러디 this indicator shape chibu ke jam maris
yeah any kaza kibu chembyu kabla any de shine da hadong de
ko shona ma shada shewra ko shona ma nyang le je da lo dang ji shewra ma do ma zo de chibu ka do shia ka ga de indicator marda chibu ge kusto bares nyang le chibu res indicator maris ko de shine so da ma zo shina ni ka timo de chan maris ko
ni di hadong na de mi se gi kibu chembyu
나 한도나 싫어 여 맞아 한도들이야 미시 쳐봐 요
지게 나 hadong 이가 디 친한 중봉이나
여래 싫어 봐 맞아 한도데 이런지 되미 싫어 난지 나와 되는 데 한도 지고
이니 디 신이 당 hadong이나 기부 징부게 냠낸 바이나 콘소연 냠낸 대양 냠수 랭고로 와 계시나 이니 디 냠수 랭고나
단단 한도 세워지 미길 한도 처음 계제 세워데 돈이라면 다 한도做的 세우디 디게제 세우르고 뭐지당 한도 한도의 신이도 저도 맞아 지구 친구이 안에 지구 개 말이서 이 신다 요래서 이게
이니 데 가르치니 가장 아주 지당시 와는 데 투몽의 남식이요로 기부 딩다 투몽의 남식이요로 기부 충무 당 투몽의 남대식이요로 이니 데 기부 친구이나 데 신이나 파동이나 기부 징보 냠낸 징이나 기부 챔뷰 그다 기부 딩부기 남년내 쟁에 나양 디시네다 하동 대양 토고로 양 냠수 랭고로 냠수 말레와이나 디타바 톱투 마요스 에네디 가르지니 기부 챔뷰 남기 갑라 디시네 디시기오레스 타마 디시기오와
되어가서 담보니 거 제비 첼리슈스 라바스도 셰자르 들 로사르스 고시니 또 지다시가 로사르 시니 라다가 로사르 라바스나 로사르 만 라바스 원 마시딘 로사르스 고 이나 다고 네디 거 제비 준비 냥레 제오디 야 미시 냥 네디 제고야 되게 제 시고라 마더와 네디만 냥레 제고야 미시라도 좀 예뻐 좀 봐나 네요 발 대고다 최면바 피다고 시부지 제고야 야페 수수페 간다 네요 발 판도네 거의 신차서 방고야 리조 디 메시지 계속 시고라 마도 지단 가서 마시바 말이스 시어디 제부소 힘이랑도 이렇게 담보 라버서 마시든 시사르스 라버스만 유사라 디널 마시스라
예 어라서 근데나 신이다 라동 지당시 와이나 대치랑
지난이도 양이 지야로
so if we were to talk about this come abiding and special insight in general, so even this practice of come abiding and special insights is even common not to Buddhists only, also common to non-Buddhists as well. So even non-Buddhists that practice come abiding and special insight, and so it doesn't mean that so it is not a practice. It is not a practice engaged by Buddhists only. So even common is a common practice to Buddhists and non-Buddhists also. So when the special insight in the context in Lamrim, so it talks about specifically observing emptiness. So it's a special insight observing emptiness. So this is what is discussed in the special insight is discussed in the Lamrim text. And if you were to talk about the three path of three scopes of beings, so even at the beginning, very beginning of the text, that we talks about three trainings, right? And these three trainings already included the path of three scopes of beings already. So if you were to talk about why they presented in this particular order. Yeah. So the training in concentration that we mentioned just now. So when this training in concentration is discussed in the Lamrim text, that it already talks about calm abiding, and the training in wisdom. Then when it's discussed, then it already includes the special insight already. So when we study the Lamrim text, then when we come to the specific topic of calm abiding, then in that particular topic, then is specifically discussed about the conditions to achieve calm abiding, like for example, abide in a solitary place and etc. And the special insight, as we say, is very difficult to achieve a special insight. So it refers specifically to a special insight observing emptiness, and this is not shared with the non-Buddhists. So there is no such practice for non-Buddhists.
Any question?
Just let me answer my question.
Sorry?
There's a question in the chat box. Melissa asked, what's the difference between middle length and middle part? Maybe Melissa, you want to elaborate, because middle length is a title of the middle length Lamrim. Middle part, I'm not sure what you mean. Is it middle way? Melissa, you want to verbally ask?
Because in Chinese, they call middle path. So I don't know whether is it the middle length, same with middle path.
Middle path in Chinese is
中道.
Oh, 中道, then that is middle way.
Middle way. Is it the same?
Okay. So, kasang so Lamrim jingbo sa de inji thone she wai na the middle length sa de ni the Lamrim jingbo de is ini middle path sa de and middle way sa de ini the uma rang ba de uma de shi gyo ra to tama wa uma de shi gyo ra uma ba ini the ni ji ba de is Lamrim jingbo ta kaisina inji na di double to middle length da middle way da wa ini the ni is Lamrim jingbo ta uma ba se de
전주 개척표 말해서 나저 라린 중보는 나저 네 찬사 시오로 전타 참만 전타 시오로
전타 참만 시오로
전타 참만 시오로 이 단단 나저 제비 친지 총 시오로 네 참만 시오로 전주 개척표 말해서 라린 중보는 나저 제를 못 책이 라리 첨보다 라린 중보다 라리 중고세 송시에 그러 송송에 아드서 마시오리 수로 준생다고 지 라리 첨보도 나서 배 소시 정황도 시비 이제 지시는 뭐 소위 와 대리만 뒤지 뒤네 라리 중보도 나서 로시 지시에서 다들이 시에 다들
계시다
로시 다 추듯이 다니 심이 아 라리 첨보도 배 지시지 마 소라마 손미 일지 제바시 대리만 뒤지 뒤바다 라리 중보 송그랬어 와 다 라리 충우데 다내 친구들 니가 가서 제제번하시 참아 도도시 전에 그때 나서 제가 되네 봐 땡보선에 서자나시 참아서 뒤니 내가 참아서 뒤니 제제번하시 다 라리 충우들이 해서 라리 채와단지 친구선 나서 막 너무나마 해당하는 지체가 시고서 이를 붙이 다 된다 참아도 나서 장사 시고라 준다 시각 시고라
Ini di tuta uma se di kari.
Uma se oda ngaso te tunta ke je shigo ngaso be ta ni su malunga ke je te shigo la. Su ka ha de ta su ni su ha de.
Yeah, so so middle length and middle way are two different things. So when we talk about middle length, and is a title of the text, and so Lama Tsongkhapa composed Lamrim Chenmo, the great length, and also composed this middle length, and also composed a condensed Lamrim text as well. So the great length of Lamrim is how say explain, give the explanations in detail, and then the condensed versions of it then is the middle length Lamrim, and then the last one, the condensed versions of Lamrim is called Lamrim Chungwu, and this Lamrim Chungwu is to make the point very firm. So, so it's to give the teachings in a very summary manner, and then to it's like pinpoint to pin on the important points of it, to pin on the very important points of a Lamrim text. So 3 lengths of a Lamrim text is how Lama Atisha give teachings to others. And when we talk about middle way, so middle way is probably is more common. So middle way is about the 4 schools of tenets. So, and this is what we usually call Madhyamika. So in Sanskrit it's called Madhyamika. So that is called middle way. And this, and this, why do we call a middle way, is because it stay in the middle without falling into the 2 extremes. So it's called middle way because it stay in the middle without falling into the 2 extremes. So 2 extremes are the 2 sides, and one side is called the extremes of nihilism, and another side is called the extreme of eternalism. So without falling into these 2 sides or 2 extremes, it stays in the middle. Therefore, it is called a middle way, or in Sanskrit, Madhyamika.
Hi, Gershila. I just want to follow up a little bit on Nina's question. With the question of why calm abiding and special insight in the great scope, I'm also curious because, like small scope teachings, you are talking about teachings that will help them to get a better next life. So medium scope teachings, which is to help beings to achieve renunciation and liberation from samsara, we know that we need to have the direct realization of emptiness. But yet these beings have to wait, or rather, those teachings that will help them to be liberated from samsara, which is the point of the medium scope teachings, are only found in the great scope. So I'm also not very clear on why that is.
Ini kasang yang di seorang mindu sakit selain ini toto ko kecewa di sini tak hadong ini di kariji ni kibu cembe di kapsul ini di sini di sebaris kan isna kibu tingbo ina kongso yang di tabat tower wa tabat tower lah ini di tungi to share di tower wa ini di tungi to share di tower yo na ini di sini tak hadong di ini lah tenggo wa ini di lah tenggo yo na ini kariji ni lamdi kibu cembe kapla sini di segi yoris. Di seorang mindu saya ni kisah lagi.
De kibu cuma lah ngaso langsa pe bong jia ke nipa cembu tende tena kurang se lolo chuyo maris. Kibu cuma di kurang shimi ngen to tena jema to koa la shemba do tuyo maris. Kibu cuma di koa la shemba chine do tuyo maris anda. Shima ngen to tena ni chiden bezo chenda ma to ko shem koa la shemba do tuyo maris roa. Koa la shemba do tuyo maris. De ngaso shine la lojo majibi kecha maris de. Shine la lojo chia mes ni di kecha ke maris ko. Roa. Shine la jibu chung kurang pe se jiba shine la lojo che chu yoris. Neje che chu yoris. Kurang dane zo de garesna 10만 원 더涨되네 마도.现在他把的等于되는 게 말이지. 타바 토야기 치는 배진 지구요 말이. 산지 공부 토야기 때문에 배진 지구요 말이. 그러나 배 10만 원 더 되는 대치는 배진 소 지구요 됐어.
이니 기본 정보나 기본 정보는 디 타바 토어로 와이라.
기본
공주기 타바다 돈 얘기로 와. 이니 디 토벨라 타바 토벨라 이니 디 등이 또 비시하게 또로 와. 이니 디 가자디 신이 다 하동이라 띵거로 와. 이니 디 가리지니 기부 친구 값다 신이 다 하동 신이 모르겠어. 가리지니 기부
제디요라 데. 데코로 제디요라 시차에서 거지 신이 나도 사망이 다긴 주자바인 봐. 라바 손지까지 단단히 시차에서 다마 림바기의 지제보다 디자 왕보란디라 타니 다티지야 당부 추니야 안릴레고 때 또바디야 지지티 제체지레고 당부 추니까서 제부 쳔비 나는 주발라 당부 추니 로장으로 와 추니 로장이 추니 디디션 내 옷 추니 장다든 거지야 옷 또발레고 때 제부 딩이 나서도 시오 그래서 단다야 보시오데 때 자체 체체야 무슨 디자 왕보라티네 림바시오 그래서 자체 중요한 제다 이거 이제 근데 제 오래 맞고 나는 제목이 바뀌자 말했고 지시지야 지 지시다 아빠 자체보시야도 디자 원보란 리다 시가 제 오래 시월했어 딜라도
진짜 나 기실라 건다 아니 디기부 징뷰 갑라 아니 디 신이다 하동 데니가 시사래
시차가
냠네 제당야 시버래
시차 내가 기능 가서 라바송도 시차 되는데 되는 거서라
라바송 갈라
라바송 시차가 돼
ini kibu jingi kabla ni di
chimbi kala hando se le ori ta mi se ko ta ko shi shi ngoro this pe jebu chimbi nyane de this tin sara mi ya wo ma chama ya bo shin sara jibun chumu dan chumu lang ji ba lo jang sa ki cha da jibun ding nyane de jebu chimbi nyane je wo jibun ding da chumu lang ji ba lo jang sine ta jine jebu chimbi lang ji ba lo jang ngoro 제비 중국의 팀을 나중에 로 맞아봐 제비 친구 나중에 말로 장토야 버려 말이죠. 저번에 이거 말이죠. 디자 원보다 란딩 빼네. 원보다 같이 지우도 되게 쉬고랬고. 지시 시기다 이제 너는 재미고 말해요.
재미고 말해. Yeah, 지디로. So even though the come abiding and special insight are presented at the back of the Lamrim text. So, but it doesn't mean that come abiding and special insight is not practiced by the medium scopes of beings as well. So even small scopes of beings, they can practice come abiding as well. So as I mentioned just now, the come abiding and special insight already presented in the 3 trainings. So at the beginning of the text, and it talks about 3 trainings, right? So these 3 trainings already include the practice of the teachings about come abiding and special insight already. The difference is whether the presentations of come abiding and special insight is brief or elaborated. So at the back of the text, then it will be elaborate explanations about come abiding and special insight, but it doesn't mean that come abiding and special insight is not discussed in the medium scopes of being as well. So whether it's explained in brief or elaborated. So when we say the 3 scopes of being, so when we say the path of the great scopes of beings. So when a person's engage in the path of great scopes of beings, so it already implies that the practitioner has already gone through the path of small scopes of being and the medium scopes of beings already. So by having trained in the previous 2 scopes of being, then the practitioner engaged in the path of great scopes of beings. Otherwise, if the person goes straight to the path of great scopes of beings, then there is the person will not achieve anything.
제가 중국 코로나 때 년에 지야做的10만 원 더 되는 내시다.现在来先把都要去的做些不的，就中国的。现在来先把都要给你谈到做些不是吧？
ini tikibu chimbo ini nang sine tang adong nyamlen yore dende
chimbo la yode nyamlen yoro ino ta nyamlen jeshi she ma chires ko jeshi no 맞아 제시진에 늦어 오고 뜻이가 더 지디시고 그랬고 근데 개처래마다 마시바다 연애 지구에 써니는 말이지
기바시요 말이스 간신나 데 주자 왕불라 때
주자 보라 때는 지디시오라가
yeah so and for the
Sheila.
Sorry, yeah. So for the small scopes of beings and I'll say what they are trying to eliminate, the main thing they're trying to eliminate is the enchantments of these lives or attachment to these lives. So then they engage in the path of small scopes of beings. So then a practice of calm abiding and special insight also discussed in the path of small scopes of beings. It's just that whether it is discussed in elaborate manner or in abbreviate in a summary manner, because the teachings are presented according to the capability of the practitioners as well.
Sheila, I found my answer in liberation in the palm of your hand. Can I read one sentence? Prabhupada Rinpoche said, the main thing, that's what Geshe-la said also, the main thing of teaching is 3 higher training, which is in the medium scope. The 3 things, which is ethics, concentration, and wisdom. So he said, if I were not to teach a great scope, I will teach the other 2nd and 3rd higher training in this section called medium scope. Since I'm going to teach a great scope, I will leave these 2 topics when I come to the great scope teaching, meaning these 2, concentration and wisdom is actually in the medium scope. As Geshe-la mentioned, even the renunciation for Noble Truth also Geshe-la put in the medium scope. So Selina, it's just the way the teacher arranged their curriculum, but it has misguided us because the table, the outline all put these 2 in the great scope. We think that medium scope people never learn about calm abiding and special insight. But Babungka Rinpoche said, not that I don't, it's page 536. I would like to discuss them here, but since I'm going to teach a great scope, then I teach it later. Bye-bye. You got my answer, Selina?
Thì năm đô la cho năm đô la này thì bảo quan một chế gì á,基本进步卡萨的趋势的搞啦，顺序的势的搞啦，因为样的卡萨电影人给喇叭档，的小给喇叭样的样写个的啥，因为卡萨基本进步搞啦，因为的把写个印象，因为的啦，因为的写个名字。di nam dola jang pa panga mu chi ya di tiyo zang di ling ra song sa kasa to de ko any pa panga mu chi nam dola jang nam dola di ti wa is ini dia kasa ki bu jing bo kasa di ding sin na xin ni dang ha dong di mi go ba din de ma re sa
my question is as a lay Buddhist, as a serious lay Buddhist, we do aspire to be liberated from the sufferings of samsara. So at a certain point of time, we have to choose our path. We have to choose a certain practice because we can't practice everything as been taught in the Lamrim Chamo. And we are not scholars in the sense like monastics. We are not lineage holders like Geshe-la. So we have to just we have to follow the foundational practice, like the first higher training, the ethical practice, which is common to everybody, without which we cannot proceed on any other practice, even for Sangha or for lay people. So my question is this: if I were to choose one particular practice and concentrate on it in my life, something that is practical, something that is suitable, for the particular person, can I choose Tonglen? And is there a possibility of Tonglen if we practice with including some understanding of the wisdom of emptiness, that the object-subject, the object you're concentrating on are empty, and likewise the subject? Is it possible that through Tonglen you can also attain liberation, you can also attain the understanding or the realization of emptiness? That's my question. If you just, because we have to tailor our practice into, study alone will not do the job, and we are not scholars and we are not lineage holders. We need to practice. So if you have to choose a particular practice depending on your affinity, So my question is, if you choose Tonglen, is there a possibility of attaining liberation or enlightenment? Through this practice, or so that you could not only develop bodhicitta or relative bodhicitta, you could also attain the ultimate level of bodhicitta, emptiness. Since we have time, I ask this question.
Thank you. Yeah, anything else? Namba Kimbaro actually. So in that Kazayan Taba line the Timbaki Kiwis. Ini ngangzu Kimba insign the lega chigoro to join the Kazan Yamin Chegi to Shira Yomawa. Ini Kaza Lamrim la Kang Shibe Juja de in the Chasang de Yamin Chetu News and Kimba Inza. And it ngangzu yang the Kasa di kasi kiwa zimba yang rama ri sakisha nang sini kiwa zimba kiwa zimba yang marisa ini 제사 ini ngangzu kimba ina ini ngangzu labasu mina 당보 될 주링이 라바네 리지 미지데 양민 시오레스 가이스나 디 시자로아 ini di sula yana di thola ini ngangzu nyamle mixi jige de tamba gyamne ani di khazan di je du tengi yona ani di jibo ani di nyamle chegi na taba top 2 res ani yana 상계 top kasa 상계 2 res ini pena chashana dongle de jibo nyamle jeje dongle jibo nyamle jeje ini ngangzu kasa di kasa dongi dobe shirap tang zimbe 다 심베로 아이라 아니 아주 디 가서 유당 유전이 디 가서 랑싱이 맞주바 아니 디 가서 시와 디당 당 심기요나 디 동랭 지부 냠랭 체와이나 상계 투기를 베스 타바 톱 투기를 베스 냠랭 람림기 죄자 탐지 체 맞주바 아니 디 동랭 지부 냠랭 체나 타바 톱 투기를 베스
그들 토투고 말했고 동랭 지부 맞아 타바 토야라 조데 돈이 더 비셔럽들라 공부하고 제고래마 되면 타바토 투야 그러요.
공다
타바 토발랑 가서 돈이 더 비셔럽들라 봐 공부를 해서
돈이 더 비셔럽 다 심네.
심바상이 돈에 되는 나니 적으로. 신신아 딱 되는 나니 적으로 한다. 돈이 더 비셔럽들라 짜도 되는 공부를 해서. 되는 짜도 되는 뭐구나 그 단지기 pontu고 말했어. 단지도 콜 카티자 저 돈이 더 비셔럽에 이 단지도 뭐구나 타바토 두고 말했어. तो मारे दे तोने चिबो गोंबा ताजी दे थाबा तो मारेस दे तोनी तो बिशेरा लक्सर तेने तोंबानी लक्सर तेने दे तोनी गोंबरेस दे सांजी गोंबा थयाला तो थाइनिगा या माटा तो रोगरे मादो जेबी चाचो जेना गोंबाइना सांजी तो मारे शेरब चाचो जे वो शेना मगोंबाइना सांजी तो मारे
타시니가 단된 다 요러
या माटा बनिगा 냐는 जेने रोगरेस को
가이스나 동랭데 심지어로 동이 또 비셔라 당 심베 동랭데 데 지포데 냠체나
동이 또 비셔로 신사의 돈도 비셔로 나는 지고로 마지는 나는 시작하라 돈이 또 비셔로 나는 마지바 나는 뜸도 비셔로 시작하리
ini di 당 심기요나 디 냠레 지기요레스 디 냠레 지기요나 디 동랭 지포데 냠레 지기요
돈이 되게 돈이 또 비셔로 지스이스와 돈도 비셔로 지라 요렇게 제시 돈이 또 비셔로 지라 매바이나 시야 요마데 신자고 요마
지라 요바 땡기요로 에니티
나는 요바데
에니티 동랭 지포 마이 바체 에니티 심세베 게샤데 에니티야 냠레 지기요레스
나는 집이 단다로
에니티
동요 단다로
데 데리나 데 동랭 당하니 데 동이 또 비셔라 니가 냠레 체나
상계 타바토 그랬어.
지난해에 참아
타바토도 그랬어.
지난해에 냠레 맞지 맞지.
지난 냠레 맞지 바이나서 나 시자로 오지 나는 수 나는 제월에 시자지 되고라고. 맞아 왜 돈이 냠레 제라 돈이 시자라고 시월에 야고시. 수 시자에 우리 다 뭐지 틀고 그래야.
Yeah, so when you say, when we choose Dongling, for example, and then infuse with, realizing, the subject and object as lacking of inherent existence, so we infuse with wisdom realizing emptiness. So can these itself achieve liberation or enlightenment or not? So first we have to understand. So first we have to, I say, you have to know that when we say infused with wisdom realizing emptiness, it already implies that you are practicing a wisdom realizing emptiness already. So, so the sentence, if I choose Tonglen only, so infused with wisdom realizing emptiness, can I achieve the state of enlightenment or liberations or not? So in general, it can achieve the state of enlightenment and also the liberations. However, when you say I choose Tonglen only, so in this sentence, in your statement, is in your questions itself already saying that you are practicing two things. So the method and the wisdom already. So it's not the only thing that you are practicing. So, and come back to your questions that if I choose Tonglen, can I achieve liberations or not? So again, when we talk about Tonglen practice, then this Tonglen practice also have causes and conditions in order to succeed in the Tonglen practice, right? So we also have to practice in those causes and conditions in order to achieve Tonglen practice as well. So so in general, so in summary, in general, if a person practice Tonglen infused with wisdom realizing emptiness, so infuse or conjoin. So conjoin or infuse also has the meaning of you developed such a wisdom realizing emptiness in your mind as well. So in general, if a person practice Tonglen conjoined with wisdom realizing emptiness, that person can achieve liberations and can achieve the state of enlightenment as well. Yeah, so yeah, so as a joke, yeah. So in order to practice Tonglen, so Tonglen in English is giving and taking. So if you want to practice giving and taking, if you do not engage in other virtues, so what are you to give to others? So what to give to others? You have nothing to give to others, right? So it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
So that's why I said the foundational practice of the first higher training is a common thing that must be developed first. You know, like this now the question Gisela asked. So the foundational practice of practice moksha or the lay vows, that's essential, isn't it?
Yeah, and the促进嘅喇叭yang2年前呢，and the 冬练的节节，and可是东西都被写入嘅心呢，and 2年前嘅他把 top 2嘅 res， 上节 2嘅 res。
다 대인의 상제 두레스고 다 스린지 라바 셰자 냐네 야보치에 데 스린지 라바 냐네 셰자는 답에 뭐뭐 냐네 제자를 스린지 라바 냐네 제우들어 다 된다 도도 가로 냐네 제자를로 이게 돈이도 비셔는 냐네 제네 왜 돈에 보나 토토다 도스 아주 침바서 와데 냐네 제모도 말은 뭐 로지도 셰바이나 침바다 좀 바타니 간도와 작업 로지 페 저울서 페타 좀 바다 파바토니 간샤 지지 말아베네 침비니 토메 토메 이미 다저 파바라서 같은 문제고 공부하더니 뭔가 도와래 친구다 대 침비 때랑 가서 다저 바토니 산지바 뭐뭐 열었고 그러와
Yeah, so on the foundations of on the training in morality, then you engage in Tonglen, then you engage in infused with wisdom realizing emptiness, then that person can achieve liberations and the state of enlightenment as well. So as householders or as a lay person, it doesn't mean that we cannot achieve those liberations or state of enlightenment, because there were many examples who were a householder and then they achieved the state of arhat, and then many of them also achieved the state of enlightenment as well. So many of them also become Arya being as well.
Thank you. Good question. That's it.
So we stop here.
다 지난주 주에 이제 제마들와 이제 제마들이 있어와.
So yeah, if you have questions, then please ask in next class.
제마들이 주어도 디스타인 지난주 때 나중 골마 제마 마제지 세보 근데 치워시요 이제와 이제 참아디 엄마 신주게 이랬어. 설명서 디스타로 시스. 그 제모리스 몰로와.
Yeah, so next class, and I'm going to ask questions about four greatnesses. And I believe that previously you also have made some notes. You have made some notes about four greatnesses as well. So please take a look before next class.
지와 새로네 다다바데 간다 사비 기전들라디니 이치템바지 거는 로와데와 라바도 간다 디자 잔이들라 네야다 마두다 미길어서 대답하 싸워니 모여야 파 도야게 리치디야 개정나 지스와.
So we dedicate the merit roots of virtue accumulated since beginningless time over many lifetimes. And we dedicate these merits for the sentient beings' happiness, and also for Buddha Dharma to spread in all 10 directions, for the flourishings of the Buddha Dharma. And we also dedicate these merits for the world peace. May the world be free of pandemic. May the world be free of conflicts, wars, and free of famine as well. So may peace prevail in the world.
더 제거도 아주 취소된 제거도비 생기 체는데 봐. 가시 건다 디사한테 체는데 거든요. 더 취소된 제거도비 이 체는데 봐나 다 세고 통만서 디바 봐 아니. 이가다 산지지 공부는 유도토야. 리치 밖에 장화지다. 더 취소된 제거이 비트는 네봐서 봐. 이들이 유도 좋아다. 그 소소게 두 무시 가려나 봐. 정말 지진 누야게.
Then we also dedicate these roots of virtue specifically to those sentient beings who pass away, and especially have connections with LDC. So may negativities accumulated by them be totally purified and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these merits to patients, those who fell sick, and especially those who have connection with the centers. So may they quickly be free of sicknesses, and may their virtues, wishes be accomplished accordingly.
Dabe Junior Sabe Gewande Tendandua Kula Campena Chiba Chichen Losan Java Timeni Boring Dose Jo Chanjo Senjo Rinpoche Mache Pana Kikyu Chiba Nyamba Mebaya Unia Kondo Bewa Jo Yamze Bawe Chita Chema Kundo Samputia Dejen Tela Kungi Jesu Dalo Kyo Dela Tanje Rato Ngo Nita Rinpoche Mache Pana Kikyu Chiba Nyamba Mebaya Unia Kondo
kondo bewa jo tawa rembo je ma ke pa na ke kyu je ke ba nyam ba me ba yang ko ne kondo bewa jo jang ge we den jin jo be ge ku se do bo ze cho sung ku we le me tu su ba da zo de je ge no ja be jo tu ni ni je sung do ju ge la chi je se se kan je je ge cha na pe mo den je de do la so wa de so je de le jo jo ji de kan de de ma le ba kan le ju e san be yi je no ka din su me den je ja so la so wa de so je je le jo jo ka ra ra ye ko ye shi ga de pe da de wa ma lu ju e ye je re se wa den je ja so ja be si de ba do den gyu ji.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you. We,
Thank you, everyone.
for those who have asked questions where we no time to answer, we will take the question to our review class. Yeah, Pyongbin, you have one question about Lama Atisha teaching. We will discuss that at the review class. Please ask more questions and we ask Geshe-la after that. Thank you.